Bright lights over the Queen City, a beautiful view of the Electric Tower. It's a view from our sky cam at Compass East. As we do say hello again, everyone, thanks for watching Spectrum News live right here at the top at 10 o'clock. I'm Casey Bortnick. We'll get to your top stories in just a moment, including a story about a mother who claims her 6-year-old son was assaulted on the bus. But first, let's check in with Todd Kirkman. He's standing by live in the Weather Center with a look at the rest of the week's forecast. And Todd, it's been rainy for the beginning of this week. Going to be rainy again tomorrow, I understand.
Yeah, it sure is, Casey. We're going to pick up some showers, gusty thunderstorms in the morning. As we get into the afternoon, though, those showers are going to be tapering off from north to south, and sun will break out. Make sure you take that jacket as you head out the door in the morning. We've got temperatures a little bit cool now, upper 50s to about mid 60s. These are going to be going up overnight, and I think many of us will start tomorrow off in the low 70s. Radar pretty much dry right now. But as we look back to the northwest, there is a rather vigorous cold front up here near Green Bay and Rhinelander, Wisconsin, and that is marching towards us and is going to be working through as we go through that morning commute. And again, some gusty thunderstorms possible. A couple of those thunderstorms could have some wind gusts above 40 and 50 miles per hour for that commute, in addition to some heavy rain. By 3 o'clock, we've got lots of sun here in the Buffalo area, and while it is going to be somewhat chilly tomorrow evening, it will be decent for outdoor activities. So again, breezy, changeable tomorrow. The morning, I think, with some of those thunderstorms coming through, is going to be a little bit on the rough side. Casey?
All right, Todd, I don't want to jinx it, and I know that it's early, but looking ahead to the weekend, I know we're not supposed to read ahead in the textbook, but looking ahead, looks like it's going to be pretty nice, right?
Yeah, I think overall it is. The pesky risk of a shower thunderstorm is going to be in the forecast, it looks like, both days, but right now both days look mainly dry and with highs easily into the 70s, so a nice warm feel coming up.
You didn't read ahead in high school, did you?
I don't know that I did much reading at all in high school, frankly.
Not much of a reader. Well, me either, Todd. Todd Kirkman live at the Weather Center. Todd, thanks for the updates. Our top story, bus safety continues to be an issue in Buffalo, especially with a lack of bus aids. According to Felicia Taylor, her 6-year-old son, Aiden, was assaulted on a First Student bus on Friday. The child was allegedly hit on the head with a metal belt. Taylor says he was taken to the hospital where he got 2 staples in his head. Taylor believes this could have been avoided if the bus had an aide that was watching all the children.
These buses hold upwards to 54 kids, and kids are going to be kids. So I don't know if a bus aide in this particular situation, depending on where it happened on the bus versus where the children were or where the bus aide might have been seated.
They're children, and if they are of the younger sorts, they need the bus monitor. The bus monitor could have been there to prevent the situation. It is not, children will be children, and that's why we need adults to govern children.
Taylor says she will not stop advocating for bus aids so incidents like this can be prevented in the future. More now on a developing story out of South Carolina this evening. The Associated Press reporting 7 police officers were shot, one of them fatally. This happened on a residential street in the city of Florence, South Carolina. That city is on Interstate 95, about 75 miles northwest of Myrtle Beach. County's Office of Emergency Management tweeted that the suspect is in custody. Local sheriff's deputies and city police were serving a warrant at the time of the shooting. There's no word yet on the extent of the injuries to the other officers who were shot. Gunfire hits a teen in Buffalo Wednesday afternoon. According to Buffalo police, officers were called to the first block of Reno Street around 4 p.m. That's where a 17-year-old was grazed by a bullet. He was able to be treated at the scene. The shooting is under investigation. Erie County's health department renewed its call on Wednesday for people to protect themselves against hepatitis A. Spectrum News reporter Mark Ashgarian tells us the push comes as the number of cases are on the rise.
It's not necessarily anything that the restaurant itself is responsible for. It's just, bad luck.
Erie County health leaders reported Wednesday 4 patrons of DOINO'S Pizzeria Bar and Grille in Cheektowaga have now been diagnosed with hepatitis A, an infection of the liver caused primarily from eating contaminated food. Health Commissioner Gail Burstein says the foursome also ate at other restaurants during the time they were infected.
I can never say it's 100% positive that they were infected from eating at DOINO'S. However, we do know that those cases were associated with DOINO'S because the first case, the index case, was a cook at DOINO'S.
Burstein says once the cook was diagnosed, he failed to disclose his illness to his now former employer and went so far as to tell the county he was unemployed. Add that to 3 minor sanitary code violations against the restaurant from an inspection last month.
The good news is that they were taking measures to address those problems, to fix them.
Burstein says Hep A is fairly contagious, yet the state does not require people working in food service to get vaccinated.
It's not part of the sanitary code. Employers can develop their own standards for employment.
DOINO'S tells us they'll now make it mandatory for all employees to be vaccinated. Burstein says only healthcare providers have limited access to the vaccine, as pharmacies are not permitted to give it. That as the number of cases across the county are on the rise, with 21 reported to date from various other restaurants, compared to 4 last year, 2 in 2016, and 3 the year before that.
It could be that we're doing a better job of diagnosing people that don't have symptoms or have just a mild flu-like illness may never seek care, and so there's that kind of underlying transmission risk through our community that I think is finally kind of taking hold and causing more disease.
Which is why Burstein urges everyone to get vaccinated, as 2 doses provide lifelong immunity.
And people can be shedding virus up to a couple weeks before they develop symptoms.
Children following the recommended vaccine schedule have already been immunized. The health department is set to announce Hep A clinics in the coming days. In Buffalo, Mark Ashkarian, Spectrum News.
Erie County legislator Patrick Burke pushing for foster care reform. Burke calling on the Department of Social Services to create a foster care oversight position. That position would be a resource to help assist foster parents and oversee caseworkers. Duties would include helping with appeals for child removal, providing information to children on their rights when placed in foster care, and to help address problems in the Erie County foster care system. One of the goals of the position is to keep foster care parents in the system.
We need to support these folks. They're doing God's work. They're doing an exponentially good thing for children in need. And if they're being treated poorly, or if it becomes this heartache and this legal battle and this financial battle, the human reaction, the reality is we'll probably lose foster care parents, which we need.
Burke says every day the Erie County foster care system takes care of nearly 1,000 children. A bill upholding safety standards for airlines nationwide is close to becoming law. Congressman Brian Higgins' office says that the Senate approved the FAA reauthorization bill by a vote of 93-6 on Wednesday. A section in the bill came about in 2010 after family members of those killed on Flight 3407 fought for stricter aviation regulations. 50 people died when the airliner crashed in Clarence Center 9 years ago. FAA bill increased required training for co-pilots from 250 to 1,500 hours of flight time. The legislation is now headed to the president's desk. If signed into law, the safety standards would remain in place for another 5 years. If you live on or travel Maple Road in Amherst, expect some slow-going traffic for a few more weeks. The town of Amherst is in the middle of a major project to replace aging water lines along the busy road. Spectrum News reporter Kevin Jolly brings us an update on this project.
Basically, I feel for the people who have to take this road. I mean, yes, I do, but I get off.
Susan Morris lives here on Maple Road in Amherst, right across the street from Maple East Elementary and Millard Fillmore Suburban Hospital. She says since the town began replacing water lines back in August, it's been difficult getting around.
For me, it's not so bad because you know what? I live in the middle of this. I get out and I book to a side street. I don't have to go all the way down Maple to get somewhere. If I do, I'll take Sheridan. I'll go a block out of my way because this traffic, it is dead stop, dead stop.
The road closures are necessary so that they can get the dump trucks and the equipment and the materials on site. It is an inconvenience, but it's a necessary inconvenience. If we don't improve our infrastructure, we don't, if things just get bad and everybody loses.
Eric Boberg, a consultant for Fisher Associates, is an inspector for the project. He says the project calls for replacing aging water lines from Hopkins all the way to Country Parkway.
Installing 8-inch ductile water line, ductile iron, comes in 20-foot lengths, have to be excavated, and when it's all said and done, we're going to reinstall all the old services to the new water line, and everybody will have new water.
And while construction is underway, officials are asking residents and drivers to be patient. That's something that's made it a little easier for Morris to get around.
People are pretty friendly. You know, they're not, you know, if they see us sitting in the driveway, they won't block it, you know. So yeah.
Town officials say the total cost of the project is about $1.2 million. The bulk of the work should be completed by the end of November. The final restoration will take place next spring. In Amherst, Kevin Jolly, Spectrum News.
We are going to see our fair share of ups and downs temperature-wise as we head through the next few days, including a shot of some summery warmth as we get towards that middle part of next week. Now, Thursday, yes, we expect highs in the low 70s for most, but a cold front is going to be moving through with some gusty breezes, a few showers and thunderstorms. Those are going to be most numerous during the morning into the early afternoon hours. By mid-afternoon, most areas are dry, and we've got sun on the increase. Now, it's already going to be kind of windy, so there is the chance for a couple of those thunderstorms during the morning to pack some gusts over 40 and 50 miles per hour. So that'll be during the morning commute from the way things look, and also some very heavy rainfall with some of those thunderstorms. Evening looks good, though, for any outdoor activities, but it is going to turn chilly